The next new FR and a new BT that we will be getting is Serah. So first, let's talk about Serah's FR and if her FR is suitable as the main FR. So first off, Serah FR does have a unique condition, which means that when you activate her FR, as long as her FR is activated, you get some effect out of it, not just by increasing the HP damage bonus, but she actually provides Brave Gain up to the party, and she has that Snow-like condition, which is Brave Gain after HP dump, but it's just 10% of HP damage. If you want to compare with Snow restore by 50% of HP damage dealt. So Serah only 10%. But however, nevertheless, is that in Shinru right now, we have the condition where any Brave Gain is capped at only 30% of our HP damage limit. So for example, if our HP damage limit is 200,000, then for each Brave Gain, if I'm not mistaken, it is only 60,000 at most. Okay, so even if you are doing 1 million damage, you won't be able to get back even 10%, 100,000. You can't get that. You only get back 60,000, right? So there is a cap. So whatever it is, that this effect is actually a very good effect. I like it a lot. So if you watch most of my content back even in Lufinia Plus, the whole reason why I green Snow wasn't because of Snow Overflow, but because of Snow having the effect to allow a character to Brave Gain, because that will make them cap pretty easily on the HP damage that they do. Okay, so Serah's FR has that condition, but in terms of HP damage bonus, I do not quite like it. I do not like a character now having the condition where only Serah or only Charlotta. So that kind of condition to me is what makes them not as generic as other characters that we have, like Penelo, like Neon, and it makes it a little bit harder in terms of getting the HP damage bonus as high as possible, as quick as possible. Right? So anyway, with Serah, her debuff is easy to get up to 8 debuff, and she even dispels. So even if enemy were to apply back their buff, she can easily dispel them by using wound. And having 8 debuff on the enemy is not something that's difficult to do. So 40% is generic in that sense. And if the ally battery the party, they get additional of 20%. So if you are bringing like DPS, like Squall is coming soon, let's also assume Squall doesn't do battery, so Squall only can get 40% out of Serah's FR. So in that situation, I don't really think that Serah FR is a FR that you want to use as a main FR, unless you are using a Serah as the main DPS. She can fulfill that role with her BT, of course. But nevertheless, if Serah is fulfilling her own condition, that's easily 80%. If she use S1 or S2, that's even up to 90%, given that if she's boosted. So that is really good. And if you are planning to do so, then you should use Serah FR as the main FR. As for Echoes, not a lot of characters Echoes has battery. The only two that we have is Garnet and Charlotta. So in that case means if you want to build a party around Serah and maximize or optimize her FR condition, then it's Garnet and Charlotta. But obviously, you don't technically need to do so. I believe most of the run, if you don't really optimize the HP damage bonus or the damage output, you already can defeat the enemy. And that technically applies even now in JP. Okay, so do not get overly obsessed on how much a character deal in terms of the damage that they do. Yeah, because it's overkill, right? So you don't really need it. So with that in mind, you know, at this point up, if you really want to pull for a character and you like it, your roster is missing that specific niche that a character brings, then I would recommend you to pull for the unit, even though that, oh, they might not be as great, or there's some other unit which is more busted that's coming up. Not really true. I mean, it's true that the other characters are in fact better, but I just use Garnet, Terra, Charlotta in all of recent Shinryu fight. There is no problem, right? It is not that I'm carrying them. They are actually carrying their own weight. So just pull for whatever that you want. A lot of character that we will be getting from now onward until wherever we are in JP, they are all really good. Anyway, for her BT phase, you can start with Wound because it has the lowest damage. Then her EX and LD, the reason why you want to use her LD then is so that you can gain a free ability use and you can use it on Moonlight, which is her S2, because that is currently the hardest hitting ability that she has, which is 5 HP dumps AoE. So that's equivalent to 10 HP dump if you're fighting against 2 enemy. And include her BT follow-up attack, that is total of 16 HP dumps. And since we're always talking about her BT, so the question here is again, do we need her BT? So if really you are just using her as a debuffer or a bot, like you just need to fulfill a certain thing like doing debuff and you want to have a dedicated debuff in your party, Serah can fulfill that role. She will work fine. She will allow other DPS to still hit hard even without the snow light effect. Yeah, with the brave gain, she gives like really high brave gain, so really high aura, attack up, max brave up. So most of the character will probably cap anyway. So if I'm talking about damage being overkill, actually we are also pretty overkill in terms of buffs and auras that a character gives. So anyway, back to the snow BT effect thing, because now her BT also provide that. So if you include with the FR, it's a total of 40%. The BT provides 30% of brave gain and the FR is 10%. Yet, like I mentioned just now, we are capped by Shinryu's cap, which is 30% HP damage, keep it up. So whatever it is, yeah, 10%, 20%, 30%, it is still about 60 to 70 thousand of brave gain in between HP dumps. Okay, so anyway, in terms of damage output, with her BT, she now deals AoE follow-up attack and has 3 HP dumps, so total 6 if you're against 2 enemies. And again, S2 is her hardest hitting, so there's 16 HP dumps total. If you want to compare with VV, VV is 4+1, 4+1, and then 16. So VV can consistently do 16, while Serah only do 16 when she's using S2. But that is kind of like good enough. Her EX does 15, LD does 14, and Wound does 12. So Wound is the weakest attack, but Wound has Dispel in her kit. Okay, I mean Wound has Dispel. It dispels 2 buffs from the enemy every time you use it. So overall, when you put Serah all together, she now works as a DPS. She has Dispel, she has debuff, she has auras. I would consider that she actually has a very good kit. So yeah, feel free to pull for her. Her damage will be relevant for a very long time. But to me, because she's an aura bot, and maybe down later on, I would prefer her as an aura bot rather as a main DPS unit, and she kind of like lacking the fast charging function in her kit, which what we want from most of our support unit, like Charlotta, like Aerith, like who else do we use? Luna Freya, and yeah, all those characters, right, with a lot of Panello, right? So in that case, I'm only giving her a 7.5, so that's 0.5 lower than what I gave Charlotta. But nonetheless, she's still a good unit. If you have to choose one, not a problem. If you want to get both, then you have to chase 2 BT at 2 different banners, so that's really difficult. So yeah, for me personally, if I have to choose, I will go for Charlotta's BT and I will just get Serah's LD. But that is just me. If you really like to use Serah, then just go ahead, because like I mentioned, most of the characters are overkill anyway, so if you pick anyone, you won't really lose out that much. Alright, so with that, good luck with your pool tomorrow and have fun.